There we go. Yay! We're finally live! Guys, I had to work on my freaking homework for this class. Social problems. It took. Am I muted? Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Half the time I forget to unmute my microphone, so hopefully you're actually hearing me. But yeah, I had to do homework for that class. It took me all day. It's 7:41 p.m. I'm like, okay, I did go for a walk and I ate some food. But other than that, I literally just did homework all the live long day. And I did well. I got a 94 on my first quiz, which was on the first 3 chapters of the semester. So I feel good about that. But yeah, anyway, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Big Brothers. But I am a live streamer and I do go live every day and I share my journey through my life. Right now I'm a student and I'm majoring in psychology to become a clinical mental health counselor, but here's me talking about myself some more. So let me just say hi to everyone first. Katie first, come inside the broadcast. Hi. Hi, Leo. Okay. We have Phenomenal Night. We have Dan. I can't see. I'm too blind. Okay, there we go. Hey, Brent. Talking Toads or Taking Toads? Taking Toads? Taking Toads where? She said I can't hear you. Is she trolling me or have I done it again? Hello? Hello? Is it connected to that microphone? Are we really having a real audio problem? I know, I was gonna go live working on my homework, but I was like, you know what? If I go live doing my homework, it'll take too long. And it took way long anyway. I'm like, thank God I didn't go live. I never would have gotten it done. Thanks, Toads. I sound different. Hello? Why can't we hear you? You don't hear me? What? Vegan Life, can you hear me? Katie, oh my God, Bradley and John. Wow. Wow, you guys are trolls. You work together. This is why we play Among Us together. Anyway, I'm just going to start talking about Big Brother to get rid of all my friends that are not here to talk about Big Brother and actually here just to make me look like a complete asshole. I'm loud and clear. There's a difference in the audio. I have a, what do they call it, a noise gate? That's through OBS though, so I don't know if that's, do you mean different than I normally sound on Twitch? Or I think it's this microphone, right? Does it sound loud? It should be this microphone, but I'm not live through my normal streaming software. I'm live through StreamYard, so I'm not really sure. I feel like you guys were the imposters and you won. I wasn't. You were sus. Brent, I believed. Brent pushed me over to the edge to thinking, oh, okay, they actually can't hear me. So anyway, let's talk about Big Brother. So I didn't do a stream last week about the 3 episodes like I normally would. So this is 5 episodes in one night. And you know, last season, or actually not, even earlier this season, Sunday night was the night the Big Brother was on. Anyway, so we're just gonna have a little Big Brother time together on a Sunday night when it's not on because it's on Mondays now for the rest of the season. The finale is, I believe, the 28th, which is a week and a half from now. So we're starting with episode 27. Memphis wants to go for Tyler. Christmas cries to Cody. He feels awkward. These are my notes. They show this clip of Christmas crying to Cody, and she's not talking any game with him. Like, she doesn't make a deal. She doesn't try to, like, team up. She just is like, I just want you to know that I don't take it personal. And I'm not mad. She just kept, like, saying those things. She said it a few times. I'm not mad, and I'm not taking personal. And I'm like, okay, I don't understand why that would be, like, your campaign. There's nothing in that. Like, that's... Anyway. Who do I want to win? Who do I want to win? I mean, I guess I don't really personally care who wins in terms of, like, I don't know them. I think that everyone left is very good, and Cody has the most chance to win in the final 2. I'm surprised that Enzo hasn't been put on the block either, but Nicole got a couple wins there at the end. And Memphis, so I thought Nicole had like the least chance of winning. She did win then HOH and Power of Vita, which we'll talk about in my little notes here through each episode. But just in answer to that question, let me put it up. I thought she wouldn't win, but she won those two things. And then Memphis made the point, maybe in Thursday night's episode, where he said, listen, it's an all-star season, and if she's sitting there at the end, it's almost like it doesn't really matter what her resume looks like so much as she can add to it that I came here a previous winner. One of only two in the whole house, and I made it to the final two. That in and of itself is really impressive because you were the biggest target in the house the whole time, in the sense that you don't want someone to win twice. Now, my perspective is that like someone would be more likely to give it to somebody who hasn't won yet. But also, just like with the all-winner season of Survivor last season, I think with an all-star season, they have a high expectation of the way you play the game. Like it doesn't matter if you won before or whatever, except in the element that Memphis brought up, which is that she had a big target on her back from the beginning. And if she makes it to final two, that is impressive. And she did just get a couple wins. And I was really, really, I was pretty surprised, honestly, that Enzo and Cody voted the way that she wanted them to. I don't know if I think that was the best move on their part. I want to know what you guys think. This is horrible. This is my nightmare. Hey, Junk, what's up? You're rooting for Cody? I think Cody, yeah, I mean, I think he's done the best. I think it's crazy, though, that they would let him get to the final two. So Memphis was a big threat competitively, but I don't think a lot of people like him very much. And I think Christmas falls into a similar category. Yeah, especially Memphis. I think that you could have brought Memphis to the end and won pretty much anybody, potentially. When I look at the composition of the jury and how they viewed Memphis, like it's not positive. They like everyone else in that house more than him, I feel like. So anyway, that's what I was thinking. Hi, Mark. Hi, Ange. How are you guys? Hi, Mike. Hey, Trav. Whoa, you guys all came in at the same time. I don't want Nicole to win because she has won, but I really like her. Yeah, and she impressed me. Like, she's had, like, her one time, I don't remember if it was in these episodes, but there was one time where she told Cody, with this, yeah, where it wasn't this one that we're still talking about, but the more recent one where she's, like, she tells Cody that something about Christmas that makes him want to potentially vote Christmas out instead of Memphis, which isn't good for her game, so that I thought, oh, she messed that up by putting in his head maybe he would want to get Christmas out. And she says to him, you know, are you gonna vote the way I want you to, right? And he's like, well, maybe. And he doesn't commit to voting the way that she necessarily wants. And Memphis does give her that deal, though. He says, I'll vote however you want me to, as part of his deal. And he offered other things, and we'll get into the details of that. But I thought that was not great gameplay by either Cody or Nicole. It was like kind of a moment where it was kind of like, oh, this could go either way. But then later, when Christmas came to her with the final two deal, she even says, laying there in the bed, she's like, this is information I keep to myself. Like, this is something I say to no one. And if she does keep that to herself, that's smart. So she definitely is like a thinker. She thinks strategically and plays the game well. So they all do. And I'm really enjoying watching it now that it's in this final five or whatever it's at, because these people are so good. And it's like so fun to watch people that are good and smart and strategic and like watch them kind of like work it out. It's fun. Mic check 1, 2. What is going on with all the microphone comments? Is it because I'm like turning my head a lot when I'm reading the chat, maybe? Ed is the man. Okay. All right. So at some point in episode 27, Memphis talks about losing his dad at 15, which is really sad and horrible. And what I thought I understood, and maybe you guys can clear this up for me if I understood this right, but I thought I heard him say that his dad wasn't even in his life until a year before that. And maybe I misunderstood what he said, but it sounded like he said, and he wasn't even in my life until 1 year before that. So it was like he was 14, his dad comes into his life, and then 15, his dad dies. And I mean, I didn't meet my dad till I was 19, but I kind of know, therefore, what it feels like to not know your dad and then to meet him, like that experience. And if my dad then died a year later, like that's just a lot. So I thought that was really powerful information and really surprising, because as I've been talking throughout I study psychology and sociology and, even like gender stereotypes and hormones, testosterone, and how these things affect us and the way we behave. And all throughout this season, I've been saying that Memphis is a hyper masculine person. He's like an alpha male. He's very like stereotypically male and masculine. So it's really interesting if his dad wasn't in his life, except for 1 year of his entire life. Now, I don't know if there was like a stepdad or uncle or anything present, but still, it was interesting that he shared that. Really interesting. So I thought that was interesting. Top of the morning to you, Hizo. Who's behind me? You probably can see ghosts. So I don't know. Hi, Wesley. How are you? It's coincidental? Okay. I'm like, do I need to speak up? Do I need to start yelling? Like, why can't anybody hear me? Hi, Sarah. And thank you for the super juice. It's orange. It's delicious. It's touching my box. Okay, that sounded weird. That sounded weird to take that last part back. You're wonderful. Good. Me too. Okay, I need some water, and I'm also using my water as a tripod, so give me a second. Okay. Yep. I said it. Yep. We're going to let the moment pass. Drink some water, cool down, start again. All right, so we're going to talk about Tyler. Now, when he's on the block, he's telling Enzo about the committee. And remember, Enzo already knows about the committee. And he adds in this little bit that's not true, which is that the committee wanted to target Enzo on triple eviction night. And Enzo knows this is bullshit because Cody already told him this. But Enzo makes a smart move, I think, and he tells Cody about Tyler and what Tyler said, which makes Cody want Tyler out even more. The veto competition was like pictures of evicted guests at a baseball game, and you had to place them in chronological order based on the photos. So like in one, it's like a hot dog. They have a hot dog, they're like, yeah, and then part of the hot dog is eaten. So it's like that must have happened after the picture with the full hot dog. And there's little differences. So there's like beer and popcorn, and like a foam finger breaks, and you're kind of like, you have to put it in order based on the level and like what little clues that are in the picture. And that was kind of cool. I like challenges like that. I think that would be a fun thing to do. Enzo does not get it at all. So they max it out at 25 minutes. So if it takes you longer than 25 minutes, it's just like, okay, you get 25 minutes. And anyone who completes it in less than 25 minutes will win, right? So that way they're not spending like hours on every comp. Like he did not get it. He was like, what? He was looking at it, he's like, yeah, this is like the pregame. This is like, okay, now they're at the game. And then this is like after the game. And it was like not at all what we were supposed to be doing or thinking. And it was just really, really funny in my opinion. I did hydrate. Thank you. So that was really funny to me, but surprisingly, now they didn't really show it this way, but Tyler didn't get it in time either. He actually maxed out the time, but it seemed like he was kind of getting it, if I remember correctly, because this was 5 episodes ago. So I was surprised that Tyler maxed his time out, and he was on the block, so that really sucked. Cody wins the veto, of course, because he wins everything, and he keeps noms the same. And I think Memphis was HOH at that point. Okay, then we go to episode 28. You guys with me? Cody has shifted his target to Tyler, which Memphis wanted to go for Tyler. Who knows whose idea it was originally. Maybe if you watch the live feeds obsessively, you could tell, but everyone wants to go for Tyler. Everyone sees him as the bigger threat. Enzo and Cody are worried about Memphis at this point. You start to see their little seeds of doubt with him, that he might be more loyal to Christmas than to them, because he would have a better chance of winning against Christmas than he would against them. And they're not wrong. And Memphis even says that on his exit speech. He says, they came for me, I would have come for them eventually too. And in the reality, like, he's like, I would have gone with Enzo, I would have gotten rid of Cody. So for Cody to want to get rid of me is just, we were doing the same thing to each other. It was whoever could get the shot off first, So obviously I think it would have been better for everyone if Memphis had gotten Cody out first, because Cody is the biggest threat in the house. Okay, where are we? So they're worried that Memphis's loyalty. That's okay. So this is not they want Memphis out. At this point, they're like worried that Memphis is potentially more loyal to Christmas than them. So they decide maybe they should target Christmas, even though they were, it's Tyler and Christmas on the block. Maybe they should try to get Christmas out because then it really firms up the wise guys. That doesn't include her, and then they have a stronger alliance there where they don't really have a deal with Christmas, which definitely plays into where we are today and who still remains in the house. But we're still on episode 28. So I love that they were showing the people in the jury having conversations, and Davon's telling Ian about Nicole and what she said and lying about flipping the vote. And Ian, I love his just purely strategic brain, or his game brain, where he's like looking at the game and the strategy and he's hearing it, he's processing, he's happy, he's like, yeah, that was a good play, even though he got out because of it. And he says to Davon, well, can you blame her? And he said he could never begrudge someone for making a good game move. Like, if you do a good job, like, how could he, and I just love that, because that's how I feel, and that's how I feel it should be. And all games would be a lot more fun if people treated them that way. Okay. So they do end up going for Tyler. They get Tyler out. I wrote that was good for Memphis, but it made no difference in the long run, as we know now. So Tyler does say on his way out that Nicole is Cody's #1, which is little shots fired there at the end, which is always fun. I like when they mix it up a little on their way out. I know Steph's upset that Tyler got out. Why is my face so red? I'm kind of hot. Maybe I should take my sweater off. Okay. And then they go into the HOH competition, which is this crazy. Can we talk about that HOH competition? Hi, JJ. Sorry, I missed you popping in here. Where they had to balance on that balance beam with the, like, how many was it? 25 pumpkin shape, like pumpkin face little orange balls. And they had to balance it in this little basket on the end of the balance beam and then scooch their way back ever so slowly and like get another ball and then scooch it. And they're like bouncy balls. They're like, what do you call those kind of balls? Like dodgeball balls? Like kickball? It's like those like plastic balls. The balls. You know what I mean, right? But all different sizes, and they just like any little movement, they like fly out of the basket and they bounce around and you like set it in and it rolls right off the end. And I'm like, I don't know how long it took, but I was like, no one's ever going to do this. And thank God someone eventually did. You usually think the games look easy. Wait, that one looks so hard, dude. They were saying that. They were like, what the hell? Poor Enzo couldn't do it at all. I think his body was just not like feeling it. It was like he said his knees and everything. He was just having a really hard time. Like you had to kind of do like a deep squat in like slow motion sideways like 100 times. So yeah. Oh my God. I love Cody and Enzo's relationship where Enzo's just like the meow meow and Cody is just going, what the hell is wrong with you? Why do you suck so bad at this? Why are you not getting this at all? So funny, so funny. I loved it. I love those interactions there so much. Hi Matt, how are you? So what ends up happening is Christmas gets really close to winning the HOH competition, and then she loses one, and Memphis is right behind her, and he's about to win, and then he loses one, and then Nicole is about to win, and she doesn't lose any, and she wins, and Nicole wins her first competition of the entire season, which is the HOH competition from episode 29. So Christmas is really upset after Nicole wins, and probably because she was really close and then lost, and she just felt like she just lost her focus for that one moment, and it was like, God damn it, because you were just so close, and it was a really hard comp. So it was still really impressive what she did, for sure, especially compared to Enzo. Love you, Enzo. All right, so the hierarchy in Christmas's mind is Cody, Memphis, Christmas, Enzo, Nicole. And she tells Nicole this, and Nicole smartly views this as not a diss, but instead as useful information, because she sees that Christmas views her as no threat at all and Cody as the top threat. So if Christmas wins anything, she's not gunning for Nicole. She's gonna go for Cody. So Nicole feels really good about that, and that's smart to feel that way because I think it's accurate. And I think they should all be gunning for Cody, but at the same time, Nicole is smart to make that to figure that out, like to come to that conclusion. So Nicole tells Cody, this is the thing that I was like, oh, she shouldn't have told him. Nicole tells Cody that Christmas is targeting him as the biggest threat, but then she regrets it because she wants to target Memphis, but Cody says he might want to target Christmas instead. So Memphis goes to Nicole because he's on the block, and he said, because she put, oh, this is before noms, but he knows he's being considered to be nominated with Christmas as well, because she wants to put up Memphis and Christmas. Okay, so she's basically siding with Enzo and Cody, but this is pre-noms. Memphis goes to Nicole, and he says he has no other deals, which she immediately knows is a lie because Cody told her about the wise guys that he has with Enzo and Christmas, but he did not tell her about the one that Memphis had with him and Enzo, which is interesting that they can even keep secrets like that in a house of this many people, but apparently they do. So he tells her he has no other deals. She immediately knows he's lying, but he does offer her a deal. I don't think it's a really good deal. He says she would be crazy to not take the deal. I don't think he has a accurate perception of where she stands in the house in terms of deals, because she has the final two with Cody, and Cody's like the biggest threat in the house and like the best player in the house. So that's being her boo is like, she's not like, she doesn't need Memphis the way he views it that she does, you know? So he says if she doesn't put him up and nominate him, that he will vote how she wants, which is smart because Cody had told her he wasn't committed to necessarily voting the way she wanted. And he says that next week, if he wins, he takes her to final three. And he won't use the veto. Whoever she nominates, he will keep. So if he wins veto, he'll leave noms the same. And if he wins HOH for final three, he'll take her to the final three. It's a decent deal, but it's kind of like saying like, but it's not a final two deal, you know? And at this stage in the game, like, you'll take me to final three, but then not final two. And if you have a final two with Cody, who has just as good of a chance to get to the end as Memphis, except Memphis is on the block right now and Cody isn't, Cody never has been, like, you know what I mean? You're incentivized to work with Cody. Like, there's not much Memphis can really do. It's a okay deal, but it's not enough. So she nominates Christmas and Memphis, which means that negates the deal. He's not offering the deal anymore, obviously, because she did put him up. So I wrote a little note here. This is not related, but really funny. Is there a lock on the bathroom door in the Big Brother house? Because why is everyone walking in on Enzo? Like, oh my God, the teapot. Yes, Steph. Oh my God, Enzo going like, I'm going to use the teapot. I'm going to use this teapot as my teapot. Cody's like, what is wrong with you? What are you talking about? Like, okay, fine. And he's like, oh my God, it's whistling. Oh my God, he's talked to it. Calm down, calm down. Cody's looking at him like, what the hell? He's like, you know, he said what he normally uses this whole time, what he's been using is a pot, like a sauce pot, like something you boil pasta in. Puts it on the stove. He boils the water in there and he dumps it into the little tea mug. Because it's more manly. And I was actually thinking it is, though. Like, it is more manly, which is so stupid. And I know we're not supposed to have these weird gender stereotypes, but he did, to me, look more manly with the pot just dumping the water into the mug than he did with the little blue teapot. And because he was also acting like, oh, I guess he was doing it. So anyway, so good. So good. Hi, Kurt. Hey, Tia. Hello, Istanbul. Yeah, it's more manly. They don't knock. They're not knocking. Can you guys back me up on this? Like, they showed clips of it, and I'm like, they're just walking in. So, like, first of all, why is the door not locked? Second of all, people aren't knocking. Like, I can't tell. And the way they talk about it, like, no one says, like, Enzo never locks the door, so we always just walk in on him. Like, I think that locking the door means that it doesn't matter if somebody knocks, because they can't get in, because the door is locked, which means someone is in there. No communication necessary. Try to get in, door's locked, someone's in there. Go sit on the couch. And you wait. Is there one bathroom in that house? Are you kidding me? Anyway, okay. Hi, Danny. I got way too passionate about that bathroom conversation. Hi, Danny. It looks like there's a lock. Yeah, like the green thing. that says vacant. Like it looks like it's one of those like turn, like it's like vacant and then it goes red to occupied. But it's only Enzo that gets walked in on, and Christmas walked in on him twice, and Nicole walked in on him once. Those are the only ones I saw. So, oh, thanks, Black Superman. One bathroom and oh yeah, the HOH bathroom too. Oh, that's why there was like, can I use your bathroom? Right. And doesn't like Memphis say like no one can use the bathroom when he's HOH or something? I don't know. Anyway, let's go to episode 30. So as we're getting down to the nitty gritty, I'm not writing as much about these episodes. They're pretty cut and dry, straightforward. There's a lot of like discussion about who it's going to be, but there's only so many ways it can go. And it's kind of the same conversations happening with different groups of people. So when there's more people, there's a lot more dynamic and nuance, and like you don't know who's going to end up in power. But at this point, it can go any way, and there's only a couple relationships left. We're getting into the nitty gritty. The nitty gritty. Hi, Chris. This is when I realized, because they say on the episode, Enzo and Cody have never seen the block, and they're the only two to never go on the block. And they're like laughing about it, and Cody's like, no. We're sitting here, we're laughing about it, and then we're going to go up on the block, so we're not going to laugh about it. Christmas makes a great point. I'm yelling. I'm too excited. Christmas is really starting to display her true abilities in this game, like as it gets down to the nitty gritty. Chris. So she makes a great point to Enzo that the only way to force Nicole to put Cody on the block is if he wins power of veto. Now, he wouldn't do that because Cody is his number one, but it's a good idea to put into his head because it's an option. And you never know where people's relationships are really going to be and where their loyalties lie. And Cody shouldn't be anyone's number one, I guess, to a certain point, right? Because you think, okay, well, Cody will bring me to the end because he can carry me because he's the superior player. But you don't want to be up next to a superior player at the end. You need to get that person out. So it's challenging. It's like very sticky and tricky. Tricky and sticky. So the way that works is because if Enzo wins power of veto, then he has the ability to take down one of the noms, and he can't go up as the replacement. So Cody would be the forced replacement. And then whoever's left up on the block has a decent chance of actually staying because Cody is such a big target, and getting him on the block could spell the end for him. Okay. Then I was very actually happy to see Christmas and Nicole make a final two deal. I liked how very straightforward it was and strategic, like rational, logical conversation between two women. It just made me really happy. I was like, yes, Nicole's HOH, Christmas is there. She's laying down some truth, some good stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, Enzo and Cody really should vote Christmas out because Nicole and Memphis are not going to work together. They're not. Like, so if Memphis wins, he's going to take Nicole out. If Nicole wins, she's going to take out Memphis. If you keep Memphis, if you get rid of Memphis, Nicole might work with Christmas. Maybe a lot more likely, from what I'm seeing, than she'll work with Memphis. She really doesn't like Memphis, so that's again why I say I don't really think they made a great call to get Memphis out. Now Memphis is a threat, and Memphis would get them out, so it's just hard. This is why the game is so good at this stage, because it's like everyone is good and everyone could win. So you're like, what do? I don't know. Does it matter? And Enzo always says that. He's like, it doesn't matter. And Cody's like, it does matter. But in a way, it's like you just can't see the future. So it's so hard to know which way you should go with it. I agree, Mary. I really, really agree. Yeah. He's too good. Yeah. Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much. Hi, Pop Daddy. I'm good. How are you? Steph says Christmas needs to go next. I mean, I actually think that Christmas has herself in a decent position, because I think a lot of people think they can beat her, so she might at least make it to final two. I think she has a really actually good chance at this point, but we'll see. We'll see. I would even say she might have the best chance of everyone that's left. We shall see. Okay, so where are we at? Then the veto is BB Comics, where they dress up like superheroes, and they have all the contestants of this season are portrayed as superheroes in different comics, and they have to organize the comics into into the same order that matches this window that they zip line past. So they get to zip line past for a minute and kind of look at everything and then go put everything in matching order. The catch is that there's 2 copies of every comic and they have slight subtle differences, like a little bit something different in the background, like there's a building where in one where there isn't one in the other one, like things that are tricky and hard to find. And once they discover the differences between the 2, then they have to go down the zip line and see which one is shown with the building or without the building, and then put the correct one. And there's 16 of them. So it's tricky, but it's possible, and everyone pulls it off, but only one can pull it off faster than anybody else. So Nicole won Power of Veto on the same week that she won Head of Household, and she got like 11 minutes. That's 16 comics with differences in chronological order, and you're ziplining, and they're on these big podiums. It's not like you're like clicking buttons on a computer. You're kind of like running around, switching them, and she did it in 11 minutes, which I thought was very impressive, and definitely something she needed on her resume to boost her chance of winning at the end if she makes it there. Everyone else got like 30 minutes. Cody got like 16 or something, which normally he's like so great at everything, so it was cool that she beat him by what I would call quite a substantial amount, like a 30% difference. So I like it. I like to see it. Actually, you could say that, you know, she did 50% better depending on which way you cut it. Thank you, Brent. All right. Nicole doesn't use the power of veto on her own nominations, surprisingly. I'm saying that sarcastically. Even though Christmas makes a really great point about how Cody and Enzo might not listen to the way that she wants them to vote. And this could be like one of the last chances for them to get Cody out. And she misses that opportunity. And everyone acknowledges that Cody has played a perfect game thus far. I don't know why they don't feel that same way about Enzo, because Enzo has won everything too. He's won HOH, he's won Power of Veto, he won Safety Suite. So it's like, you know, I don't think he's played a bad game. I don't think he's really won in a bit. Like, so it's not fresh in their memory, but in terms of resume, I think Enzo has also kept himself off the block and made arrangements and deals, including with Cody, that have gotten him this far too. But Cody obviously has won more. I think he's won 6 competitions at this point. So it is it is still pretty obvious who's playing a little bit better competitive game. And maybe a better social game too. Yeah, Enzo's won stuff, just not as much as Cody. So he needs to get Cody out to make himself stand out a little bit more. Because I don't know how many times Christmas has won. Not sure. We know Nicole is twice, though. Okay, so we go to episode 31. So this is Thursday nights, the most recent episode. Cody and Enzo, the root, they control the vote. I already gave away which way they went. I did right that I think it makes, and I stand by, I think it made the most sense for them to actually get Christmas out, since Christmas and Nicole are more likely to work together than Memphis and Nicole. Memphis did push Nicole to backdoor Cody, which was Christmas's original plan, as I was just saying. And she smartly told Cody that. So I think that might have been Memphis's like fatal flaw, was that he was pushing for her to do that as well. And Nicole really buttered that up. Like she said, like he didn't really say like you should do it. Memphis was kind of like, are you gonna do it? Like, do you want to just do it? He was encouraging it, but he wasn't really like super gung-ho on it. But Nicole painted a picture to Cody that was like, oh, she goes, he wants you out so bad. And then I'm like, oh, that is that impressive part of Nicole's game that I wanted to see, to really like yeah, that she could definitely win, because she's like, she wants Memphis out, so she makes it, you know, she enhances the reality that Memphis would come for Cody at some point and thinks that she should, and that makes Cody want Memphis out. Although Christmas is gunning for him too, but he sees Memphis as more capable of getting him out because of his competitive abilities than Christmas is, because Memphis has won more than Christmas. Christmas won one veto and an HOH. Okay, so she's at 2. So Christmas and Nicole both have won twice. Memphis has won HOH at least twice, if not 3 times, and he's won other things as well. Hi, Mr. Chow. So he's definitely won more than those 2. I don't know if he's won more than 3 things. I think 3 is Enzo's number. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Mr. Chow. And thank you, Mary, for the info, because I like it. I like it. I don't have it all. So they show the jury house. You see Davon and Tyler hug and make up over his whole thing about wanting to leave and whether or not that was genuine, and, you know, and was it a plan? And it was really like, we saw that he really did go through kind of an emotional upheaval, and questionable game strategy. And we know that I would actually argue that he actually threw his game away trying to save David and keep David in the house. And I didn't see him like present that as an argument, but that did happen. I mean, him and Christmas throwing that vote against Nicole was to keep David. It was less about getting Nicole out as it was about keeping David in. And her whole argument was about trying to help basically a Black person to win Big Brother, because no Black person has ever won Big Brother. And she was like happy that he seemed to want to help that cause, but was concerned that maybe he had used that, and she wanted to make sure that wasn't the case. And I think we all know for sure that that's not the case, and that actually I think is the choice that actually lost him the game, because it gave them an excuse to put him on the block, and then he went home. They showed family messages from all of the jurors' families. That was so freaking cute. So cute. He messed up his game because he wanted to help David. Exactly. Yeah. So that actually was, and I think, you know, he would rather work with David than Nicole, for his own strategic advancement as well. He might not view David as much of a threat or something, but it, you know, regardless of all of the causes and intentions, he did throw his game out to save David. So I love you too, Robert. What's up? Tyler wept. Yeah, he did. He cried. Yeah, it was cute. So yeah, they vote Memphis out. I'm surprised. And I actually thought that they might do the tie. So they were considering doing a tie where each of them, one would vote for Christmas and one would vote for Memphis. And then Nicole would have to break the tie. But they didn't decide to do that, which I didn't really see exactly why they decided not to do that. But Cody considered doing it because they both wanted to do it for Nicole to get the blood on her hands, so that Memphis isn't necessarily looking at them as getting, like, going against him. But you kind of know, like, if they're doing the tie thing, it's kind of, you know, you're supposed to be the wise guys, right? So they should both vote to keep you there, regardless of who HOH is at this point or anything, because they're the only two votes. So it's kind of like you're either both going to turn or you're not. And it's not going to save you a jury vote, although Enzo thought it might. He thought, hey, I can make it a tie. Nicole gets the blood on her hands, and then maybe that saves me a jury vote, because Memphis sees that I didn't vote him out. So I was more loyal to him. Maybe he cares about that more and will vote for me to win in the end. And Cody says, you know, well, that also would cause a problem between Enzo and Nicole's relationship, which would be good for him, because then they would both be loyal to him and not really to each other. So I thought they might actually do it, but they did not. I assume it kind of occurred to them that, like, that's not going to get necessarily a jury vote. Like, Enzo probably thought it's not really worth it to ruin that relationship with Nicole, because I think Memphis would probably still vote for Cody to win in the end. Memphis said he was totally blindsided, but he said that he could kind of feel it, like, that day and throughout it in the room. He kind of thought, oh, okay, I might be about to go. So he wasn't necessarily completely blindsided, but for the most part, he was very confident throughout the whole week that he was staying. And he was definitely surprised when he didn't. And I really liked, like, how the way he talked about on his exit interview. I thought he did well. I actually kind of liked Memphis throughout this season, even though I know he's not the most likable person. I definitely got the impression that Julie does not like him. The way her body language, the way she talked to him, and in the interview, I thought, wow, so obvious how much distaste she has for him. She just really doesn't like this guy for whatever reason, and I thought that was kind of weird. So mentioned it. And that is the last 5 episodes of All-Star seasons of Big Brother season 22, episodes 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. I do this every week here on Periscope and on YouTube. So if you're on one and not the other and you want to get on the other, my username's the same everywhere. It's just NextJuice. NexJuice. NextJuice. You can go to my website. All my links are there. I also go live on Twitch, which I'm about to do right after this. They both thought they were staying, yeah. I thought Christmas was less sure, though. She was kind of like, when she talked to Nicole was like, just trust me on this. And Christmas was like, okay. And that's kind of all she could do. Because Christmas was right. She was like, how do we know that Cody and Enzo are going to do what Nicole want to happen? You know, and she's not getting the same assurances from them that they showed. Now, maybe she was, but. Nice, Brent. Brent says, I know nothing of this show, but I'm rooting for Christmas because that's my favorite holiday. Hey, Reggie. You hate that it's not on Sundays anymore. Yeah, it's weird. It's just like confusing because then I'm like, oh, Big Brother, and then I'm like, oh, tomorrow. So yeah, it'll be on tomorrow. So I usually do my recaps on Thursday nights, but it's been kind of random lately. So stay tuned. Put your notifications on, and I have all of my Big Brother recap episodes on my YouTube channel, so you can find them on a playlist if you want. You gotta play Fortnite? Let's go! I kind of want to play Among Us. I feel like I can't get enough of that game. Maybe I want to do Among Us and then Fortnite? I don't know. I wish I could do polls on here. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll just do a poll on Twitch and then we'll go from there. All right. I love you guys. I hope to see you over on Twitch in a little while. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next time we cross paths on the next juice. So please follow and subscribe if you haven't already. You can also help me to keep this channel going at that link, nextjuice.com, by going to the support page. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Let's go play some games. Remember, you are worthy of being loved and feeling comfortable in your own skin. Okay? Got it? Good. I'll see you next time. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor, the Daily Juice. Hey, thanks, vegan. That was nice. Oops, I clicked the wrong one. Thank you. Hugs to you, and thank you so much for the super hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Dan, for the super hearts, too. Night, guys. See you on Twitch. Wait, more buttons to press. Okay, bye, bye, bye.